also too. So, all right. Well, Lauren Bloomer is married to Landon and has a 3-year-old son, Chase, and a 10-month-old baby girl. Okay. She began her business in May of 2012. Now, that wasn't really that long ago when she was a full-time music teacher, planning her wedding and working on her master's degree. She became a director 8 months from starting her Mary Kay business. From the start, she became a sales director in management in 8 months while working a full-time job and planning a wedding. I always want to say those things slow because some people say, well, they're not busy. These people are busy. They're always busy. Okay. And she earned her first car shortly after that. She's earned 3 new director challenges. She was also the annual Miss Go Give. She did $1 million in 2022. Her highest check, we always says, hasn't been written yet, but the one that they've paid her in excess of $34,000 in 1 month. So I'm going to turn this over all the way from Pennsylvania. Give it up for Lauren Bloomer. So go for it, girl. We're all yours.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am honored that you are on here tonight. And Janice, thank you for asking me and inviting me. I consider this a high honor and privilege. And you guys, I'm about to meet lots of new friends. There's a lot of us on here tonight, and I get to share my story with you. And something that would make me feel so special, because one of my goals is that you can see yourself in me a little bit. Is that if I say something tonight that you can relate to or you've been there, either put a heart in the chat or say, I can relate, or yes, girl, just something. Put that in the chat as I'm talking, because that'll just make me feel like we're connecting, because that's really important to me. So I'll take you back 12 years ago. I was not thinking about doing anything in direct sales. I had gotten my dream job, but I'm actually going to go back a little further than that, because it's really easy. You're going to hear my story. You're going to hear my journey. And it might look like I've just had an easy life, right? Sometimes we kind of look at people and we're like, well, yeah, but. So I'll just share, growing up, my parents divorced when I was a baby. So I grew up, in 2 different homes, and I had step siblings, and so my life was great, but it wasn't always easy. So I just share that because I'm sure some of you maybe can relate to that. I wasn't a straight A student. Things didn't always come easily to me. I had to work hard at things. Like it didn't just necessarily come natural, but I'm a hard worker, and I was always willing to do the and then some. So that's just a little bit about me before that. So I knew that I wanted to lead. I knew that I wanted to teach, but at 18, what do you really know, right? And so I went into music education, and you guys, I got my dream job. I really did, pretty much right out of college. So I was in my dream job, and I did not have a skincare regimen, by the way, like no regimen. I didn't love my skin. I was pretty blessed. I never really struggled with acne or anything like that with my skin, but it was always dry. And my regimen was non-existent. It was just whenever I was in the shower, I used my clean and clear that I bought at Walmart or Target or whatever. And then I would put oil of Olay moisturizer on, and I was super dry. And I was constantly in the pursuit of the perfect foundation. I don't know if anybody can relate, but when you don't like your skin and you don't have a good skincare regimen, then you just look for the perfect foundation, because surely that's what's going to fix things. So I got Dream Matte Mousse. I don't even know if it's still out. I think it's Maybelline. I don't know. But let me just tell you, it was mousse. And I would just it was orange. I'm not even going to lie. I wanted to be tan. I wanted to be more tan than I was. So I just got the orange color. And I did not match. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know now that how important it is, but I just wanted to be darker. Okay, I wanted to be tan. Okay. So that, I don't know. Am I getting any I can relate in here so far? I hope so. So anyway, so I got my dream job right out of school. And I was busy. She said everything that I was doing, teaching full time. And I was figuring that out, because being a teacher is a lot of work, a lot of work. And the reward for good work that I found fast in teaching was more work and not more money. So it would be like, oh my gosh, Lauren, like, you're doing so great building our choir program. We're going to give you a gym class, or we're going to give you orchestra. And I was a voice major. So I was, okay, anyways. So that's what I found. The reward for good work was more work and no more money. And, I was just to paint a picture for you, I felt like I was kind of on a hamster wheel. Like I was living for my weekends, but they would go way too fast. And then I was living for my summers because in the summer I could like really just like let my shoulders down and just like have fun. And that would go really fast. And so I just find myself like on this hamster wheel thinking that I'm supposed to be in my dream job, but like why does my dream job think not giving me my dream life? Like this isn't what I thought it was going to be. There's got to be more. So that's where I am. I just want to take you back because that's truly where I was 12 years ago when I was introduced to Mary Kay. Okay. So I wanted David's bridal package. We work with David's bridal, or at least we have in the past. So I was a bride to be planning my wedding. And I won, and my beauty consultant came over to my house, and I had my one girlfriend who accepted. She came with me. And I sat, it was in this room, actually. I love that, this part of my story. So I was in this room. I was at the table. I had the tray and the mirror in front of me. Remember, I didn't like my skin, didn't have a good skincare regimen. But I remember that night trying the products and seeing and feeling a difference with just one time. Like I don't know about you guys, but I like instant results. If something works instantly, I'm in. I'm like, okay, that's great. So I felt pretty that night. I really did. I was like excited to watch my face. So I purchased the skincare that night. I purchased it, the whole set. I was like, well, I like this and I'm going to get excited to wash my face now. And not only that, but she left a catalog. So I found myself, I took it to school. I put it in my purse. I took it to school. And on my lunch break, I was like flipping through the catalog and circling all the other things that I would want, right? Because I was truly a believer within the products at this point. And so, and she made me feel special. That's the other thing too. She made me feel important. She sat with me. She talked with me. She taught me how to use the product. You know, like that was just special. That's not that what you get when you walk into Sephora all the time, right? Like or Ulta, you're just a person in there hoping to find the right thing that you're looking for. So she was sitting with me and she made me feel special. So the story goes that I was circling all these products, wanting more things, called to order more. And she says, Lauren, you know, did you ever consider doing something like this? To which I was like, no, no way, couldn't do it. You guys, for me at that point, I was super busy in my life. If you were to say, Lauren, how are you? I'm busy. Oh, what's new with you? Oh, nothing, just busy. I almost wore that as like a badge of honor. I was just busy. But interestingly enough, what I actually needed in my life was more time. So why I was resistant to say yes, oh, nope, I can't, I'm busy, was really the reason I should have said yes, but I didn't know that at the time. So I politely declined. Another month had passed. I ordered more product. She said, hey, Lauren, did you ever consider doing something like this? I'm just going to ask you again. She just politely persisted. I sat down on the couch, asked my husband that night. He looks at me. He's like, when are you going to have time to do that? Because again, I was a super busy music teacher, planning my wedding, working on a master's, and singing in a cover band on the weekends. Okay. I didn't add that part in there. So I politely declined again. And here's the third time. The third time was about 2 months later. And she said, my director would like to thank you for being such a great customer. And she'd like to get on the phone with you. Well, I am a helper. I will help anybody who needs help. So I got on the phone with her that night, my now national, and my beauty consultant. And it was a call just like this. And you know, I don't even really remember all the things that she said, but I can tell you how I felt. And I didn't even see her like you're seeing me. I just heard her voice. I heard hope. And I don't know that you can actually hear hope, but I felt it. I thought, what if my life could be like this woman who was like telling me every day felt like Friday? I do remember that line. She said every day felt like Friday because Fridays were really cool as a teacher because that's when you knew there was hope for your weekend. And she was talking about the trips, all expense, all across the world. And she was talking about her Cadillac and the money and the lives that she was impacting. And I heard hope. I heard, what if? And before I knew it, you guys, I had my computer filling out my agreement. And I remember the feeling that like a mixed feeling of like, I've never been more excited and I've never been more afraid. And those feelings were mixed together. So I was just like, wow. And I remember my famous last words to her before we hung up. I said, well, don't expect much from me. Any high achievers on the Zoom tonight? All high achievers will say, well, don't expect much because, yeah, because we're going to show you. So anyway, so I signed, and you guys, I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did. So you heard in my accolades, I did become a director within my first 8 months, but I'll tell you why. You want to know why? Because that's kind of a big part of it. It's because I showed up. I went to I requested a meeting with Kim, who's my national, who's the woman I heard Hope from over the phone. And that night we met at Bob Evans, and she didn't talk to me about how to set up my website that you get with this $10 or the pro pay, how to accept credit cards. No, she talked to me about her leaders and about she could see me in leadership. And so I was like, oh, okay. And I just showed up, you guys. I went to the meetings. They were every Monday. And Monday is like not a good day for a teacher, okay? Because Mondays are the day you go back and you got all the kids again and everybody's grumpy. I was not grumpy, but other people were grumpy. And so Monday was like not the ideal day to have meetings, but they did. And so I went because I wanted to be in the space of the woman that offered me hope. And you guys, the first time I went to a meeting, I wanna just like let you in on a little secret because you hear me talking tonight and I maybe appear confident. And I would say that I am now. But 12 years ago, when I drove to that first meeting, my beauty consultant prepped me. She said, Lauren, you're going to have to say your name and why you're excited about your business. And I'm not kidding you guys. I practiced 54 times in the car. I said my name and why I was excited, and it like changed every time because I was nervous to speak in front of women. I was nervous. I was not nervous to speak in front of kids, but I was nervous to speak in front of women. There was a part of me that was just afraid of being judged or afraid of not saying something the right way or whatever, or appearing not intelligent, whatever it is that we tell ourselves. And when it got to me and I had to say my name and I had to like share why I was excited, my knees were shaking. I don't know if anyone saw, but I could feel it. You know when your knees are shaking and you're like, oh my gosh. But I got through it. And it's just so funny because now I speak in front of literally thousands of women and I just love it. But there's been transformation in these last 12 years because I said yes. Because even though I didn't have the time, I found pockets of time because nothing else changed when in those 8 months. I still taught, I still showed up and I stayed late and I went in early and I did the and then some. I still got married. I still got the master's degree. I still did all those things. But what's great about Mary Kay is that I could fit it into pockets of time that I could create. And so for me, the recipe was 2 appointments a week. And I could figure that out because I could do 2 on a Saturday, or I could do 1 on a Tuesday night and I could do 1 on a Sunday, whatever it was at the time. 2 appointments a week was my recipe to having success and to moving up. And I just kept asking my mentor, okay, what's next? Then I would do it. Okay, what's next? And I would do it. And so, I became a sales director and then I earned a car and I was just having so much fun. I was really enjoying it. I found that there was a part of me that came alive that I didn't know was sleeping or dead. I don't know because I had been dreaming. I can tell you that. When I went to my first seminar 2 months later, which is our event we have in Dallas. And by the way, if you're in Mary Kay or plan to be tonight, like you definitely need to come to Dallas to seminar because it's the best. But I was in there as a new consultant and I got to see the manufacturing plant where all the products are made. I realized there that I had quit dreaming. But because I was on that hamster wheel, it was like good enough is good enough. And I was in this space of these women who were dreaming big dreams and they were dreaming about having a lake house and a beach house and blessing women with different things and just big thinkings, earning Cadillacs, earning Escalades, things that, I just never, that part of me was gone until then. So I remember that seminar just like weeping and crying and just kind of almost starting that transformation of like, wow, I'm coming back to life. And I found that I like goals. Having goals is healthy. I believe it's what keeps us alive. And I would say, even if you decide not to do Mary Kay, you should have a goal because it's fun and it's exhilarating. It helps you to get out of bed and to be excited for what you're doing in your life. So I earned the car, earned the Cadillac, and I also want to tell you, like, there were seasons too where I was stagnant or maybe a little stuck. I think that's true with every business. Success doesn't look like this. So let me not paint an inaccurate picture for you that my business has looked like this, because it hasn't. There's been highs and lows, and there's been mountains, and there's been valleys, and there's been everything in between. But the person I've become is unrecognizable from 12 years ago. And that's why I love this business. That through the hard times, I've had to dig deeper in my faith. I've had to get deeper rooted. I've had to figure out where my worth comes from and where it doesn't come from. And I've had women, and this is what I want you to hear. I've had women in my highest of highs and my lowest of lows, and particularly my lowest of lows, that have picked me up. That they don't let me stay there. They don't sit with me in misery if I, if having a bad whatever. They pick me up and they call me to be better. And I don't know about you guys who are watching tonight, but my history with women, with girlfriends, hasn't always been that. In fact, I had a really bad experience with women in high school. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but in case somebody can relate, it was when something good happened for me, the women that I was closest to since kindergarten no longer liked me. I was no longer their friend. And so for me, having that experience, it is uncommon that women are going to be the women that pick you up out of your pit and they say, come on, I'm expecting better. Come on, let's go. We're going to do this. And when you're at your highest of high, when I had my best year ever, that they loved me the same and they were cheering louder for me than maybe I was cheering for me. And wow, what a blessing, what a culture. And that's what I believe sets Mary Kay apart. Not only the foundational principles of putting God first and your family second and career third, but I'll tell you why I would never leave, and that's because of the sisterhood. That's because of the leaders that we have in this company. It truly is unlike anything I've ever experienced, and they're women that truly make me want to bring my best self every single day. And you know what happens? My kids benefit from that. My spouse benefits from that. My parents benefit from that. My church benefits from that. So you guys, I could go into lots more details about my story and where we are, but I just really want to impress upon you tonight that this may not be for you. It really might not. Maybe you just got on here tonight because you love your consultant and you wanted to hear a little bit more, or you wanted to help her, or whatever it is. And just know that that's okay. We love our customers. We love them so much. In fact, my customers on here tonight, shout out to you. I love you so much. I could never tell you how much you mean to me. But I want to say, if anything that you heard tonight, you could either relate to or got you a little bit excited. My question to you is, for $10, is it worth giving it a shot? Is it worth it for the self-confidence that will come from this business? Is it worth it for the girlfriends that you're going to get that maybe you didn't even know could exist because you had the same experience as me? A financial freedom that you've never felt before, that you could say, we need more money. I know how to make it, and I know how to make it quick. A company that will love you and accept you for just who you are, and yet give you a safe place to grow and to become better. Because we're all growing, right? We don't ever arrive. We're constantly learning and growing and becoming, I believe. So I hope that something in my story resonated with you, and that you know and you think, what if you're the next best beauty consultant or sales director or national sales director that will come into our company? And I would rather be I'm glad I did. Heck, I'm glad I did 12 years ago because of the life I get to have today, than a wish I had. Man, I wish I had tried that when that girl made my heart race a little bit faster that night. So Janice, I'm going to turn it back to you if you have any questions or anything that you wanted to add.
Oh my gosh, Lauren, that is amazing. You are absolutely amazing. And yeah, aren't we all glad we did it now for $10? I mean, please. Oh my gosh, Lauren, can you all give it up for Lauren? Oh my goodness, was that not seriously amazing, amazing, amazing? Yes, we do. That was just awesome.